Well, I told you all they needed was a road trip to Minnesota to go to the frigid air of the north, and the bats would heat up. Back-to-back homers, and Hunter Brown delivered. Well, we know what Brown can do for you when he's on. Let's go.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok, at Stros411 on X, on Facebook and Instagram, and at Back to the Bullpen on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, iHeartRadio. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. And today's episode is also brought to you by Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers stepped up, and a guy that did everything the Astros needed to do for one game at least. And the Astros offense scored some runs. They had 5 extra base hits. That's almost as much as they've had the entire season. And José Altuve did something that he has not done in his entire career. And no, it was not finally getting 5 hits.
Oh, man. I was going to say, Eric, what did he do? Did he get 5 hits? No, I'm joking. Look, Hunter Brown, came out in the season, his first start this year, and was not good, was not sharp. And, he's the kind of guy that you want to have a bounce back start. And Joe Espada after the game talked about how in the first inning, when he gave up the 2 runs, he said last year, whenever that would happen, Hunter Brown would seem to let that get to him, right? That he would not do so well, that he would kind of not necessarily buckle under pressure, but he wouldn't be the Hunter Brown that they've seen him become. Now, he did get 7 strikeouts versus the Mets. He did go 6 innings, but he gave up 2 runs. He gave up the home run, and he had 3 walks in that game. This game, a lot different. 8 strikeouts, no walks, only 2 runs, 5 hits, and Eric, he had 14 swings and misses. So this kid right here today came in. He absolutely shoved. I said he has ice in his veins, but everybody's like, no, he's got diesel in his veins. Remember, he's Diesel, Hunter Diesel Brown. Well, that's fine. Diesel, ice, it doesn't matter to me. Irregardless of what it is, he was fueled by maturity. He was fueled by staying in the moment and not trying to do too much after he came out of that first inning and really got locked in.
Especially after Framber Valdez kind of imploded a little bit
Right.
the other day. It was good to see the young kid, the guy a lot of people think is going to be the ace of the future for the Houston Astros, especially if Valdez goes somewhere else. But like you said, he just, after a kind of sluggish start, he just went out there and just did what Hunter Brown does. And it was good to see him get the 8 strikeouts and the 5 hits, but most of that was done early. But overall, a great effort. The Astros needed a good game. I know you're going to bring up the whole road versus home thing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I know it's an issue that the Astros needed some success. And I misspoke earlier. The Astros had 5 extra base hits in this game. I believe they had 4 the entire season until now. It's something ridiculous like that. So the Astros just had a breakout game. We're going to say this: 5 runs on 5 extra base hits. That's a breakout game for this 2025 Houston Astros. Are we going to expect to see that again tomorrow? Who knows? But I think that sometimes a road trip, when you're struggling at home, you score 12 runs in the first 6 games, then you just go on a road trip and it's only 5 runs, but still you get everything taken care of. And It's much better than yesterday's game. That Framber Valdez, after he imploded and gave up the runs, it just kind of deflates your sails after the offense can't score any runs. And in the situation, Hunter Brown did his job. The offense did his job, but I'm not gonna knock José Altuve. Everybody has their bad days, but dude, he has not had this type of bad day in his career.
Well, right. Well, and I watched the at bats, and every pitch that he should have swung at, for the most part, he didn't. Well, there was one or two of the strikeouts, the ball just moved in the zone. He just missed it. But the other three strikeouts that he had, he was reaching, the ball was over the plate, was high, and he went down one time looking, and I was like, that was the pitch you should have swung at. And if you're going to go down after two swinging strikeouts, you can't go down looking a third one. Now, there was one right at a 3-2 count. The call was a little bit questionable. That umpire is going to ring you up every time. If he knows you're not going to swing, you're gone. And but that's why baseball is baseball. And that's why, despite that happening, the Astros came in and scored 2 runs, tied it with back-to-back solo shots. Christian Walker with his first home run as a Houston Astro. Then Jeremy Peña hit a home run. And the ball that Jeremy Peña hit was a lot like what Altuve hits. It was high in the zone. He was jammed, and he crushed the ball. It was like 2 inches above the strike zone, and he just hit a laser to left field. Christian Walker hit a laser to left field. And so both home runs looked really good. And then after that, what did the Astros do? They scored. They basically, once they tied it, they scored 3 more runs, 5 unanswered runs. And the Twins, I believe, rotation right now is giving up. They have an ERA somewhere around 7 on the season. So their pitching is struggling and their offense is not producing. So it was good to see the bats wake up today. But yeah, Altuve had a 6-game hitting streak snapped. He went 0 for 5. Tomorrow he may hit 2 home runs.
All right, we've kind of been skirting around this, but for anybody that has not watched the game or has not looked at the box score yet, Altuve had 5 strikeouts in this game. This is the first time in his 15-year career that he's done this. He's the guy that doesn't strike out. Well, I guess he does strike out a lot. He's a very aggressive hitter, but he prides himself on making contact, and he doesn't walk a lot, but he also doesn't he does have strikeouts, but he also likes to make contact, whether it's great contact or not. But in this game, it's okay. The fact that he's been carrying the Astros offense for most of the season, majority of the offense has come from him. If you look before this game, he had the highest batting average by far, the highest OPS by far. So this is not going to be a show where, well, Altuve sucks. He does not. He had one bad game. This is a guy that's earned our respect. So this is not on him, and he's looking a lot better in left field. But the fact that Paredes, he had an 0 for 3 day, Alvarez had an 0 for 4 day, and the first 3 batters were 0 for 12, like Ali said here. Where is it? I was trying to
look, I mean, it wasn't everybody in the lineup that got hits, but with Walker, Caratini, and Rodgers all having multi-hit games, and then Peña's one hit this game with the home run, that's all you needed, because right now, this is what the Minnesota Twins are. They just are not going to score a lot of runs. They're now 2-5. The Astros are 3-4, moved up to 3rd place in the West. So there you go. Things are looking up. But Eric, like you mentioned before, all these extra base hits in one game is a sign. And not only is it a good sign that the hitters hit, but it's also a good sign that not only did Hunter Brown deliver on the mound with the start with no walks, with 8 strikeouts, then you had your bullpen come in, Eric, and Brian King looked good. Brian Abreu looked good. They each got a hold. Abreu had 2 strikeouts in his 1-inning pitch, and Josh Hader, 1 strikeout, 1 inning, 3 for 3 on saves this year. So the bullpen doing their job, the starting pitching doing their job, and the offense doing enough, putting the crooked numbers up to guarantee that victory today. But here is the question: what are they going to do when they get back to Dyken Park? Because according to Fact Sports, which is a parody account on X, they reported earlier that Dyken Park is the first major league park to be DFA'd. And I said, in a recent move, the Astros are promoting Whataburger Field, okay, and it will be here.
Nice ballpark.
Well, Whataburger Field will be here April 9th to give time to put the train inside that stadium. So we're going to play in Whataburger Field on April 11th with the Torpedo Bats. Then I think we win games, right?
All right. You also need to go trade for Aaron Judge. You need to trade for a lot of players that are actually having good seasons to kind of beef up this lineup. But guys, we'll go ahead and continue this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast next.
This episode is brought to you by Supply House. Go to Supply House for all your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical product needs. Use the code SH5 for 5% off your first order. Look, I can tell you that as the son of an electrician, you need something like this as a tradesman. And if you need more supplies than you've ever needed, and you need parts that are going to come to you with a place that has over 200,000 of them from 400 plus brands, and you need to get exactly what you need and not beat around the bush and have it delivered from anywhere, coast to coast, Supply House is the place for you. And for experts like yourself, it has industry-leading service, and you'll always talk to a real person. For trade pros looking for the extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. So join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. This easy-to-use website packed with resources is going to be your go-to in your MVP. Plus, use the promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And if you are looking for something to boost your workout, to get you through the day, a snack that keeps you full and is good for you, and you don't want all the extra junk, well, get the product that is literally labeled Just Ingredients. If you go to justingredients.us and use a promo code LOCKEDONMLB at checkout, you'll get 20% off. When it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. And that is why two-time MVP Bryce Harper trusts the NSF certified sports line to fuel his training and his recovery. It's all rigorously tested to ensure that they're free from substances that are banned. I love that Just Ingredients prioritizes wholesome, nourishing ingredients without the artificial junk. Fueling performance, whether you're recovering after a workout or you need an energy boost. I did that today. I did it again. They were nourishing ingredients without the artificial junk. Whether you're recovering, it doesn't matter. This grass-fed whey protein or pre-workout deliver real results. Take it from me, H-Town Wheelhouse. I'm telling you, this is where it's at. And the taste is phenomenal. The chocolate shake is amazing. Go visit justingredients.us and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. And for more wellness tips, follow just.ingredients on Instagram.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. And like I said, this episode is brought to you by Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers had a great game, but also before we get to him, I do want to talk. I almost forgot about this. I wanted to bring this up before the break, but Brian King. He had another hold. Is he kind of stepping in as the seventh inning guy, or is just a situational inning for Joe Espada at this point? But this is his second hold, and so he has a 0 ERA on the season. So is Brian King one of the trusted guys in the circle of trust right now?
Heck yeah. He's one of your lefties. He's one of your only lefties. And absolutely, Brian King is a very good pitcher. I mean, last year, Eric, 24 regular season, 28 games, 26.1 innings pitched, 32 strikeouts, a whip of 1.14, and an ERA of 2.39. Yes. Is he? He has been. That's why he is Brian King. He is the king of the relief pitching mound right now. He's doing phenomenal things, and I love when he comes in because the work he's going to put in. You know what he's going to throw, and he's basically going to miss bats. And that's why you have him in there. Eric, Brian King is as dependable as they come. He literally threw 6 pitches today. They were all 4-seam fastballs. And
Hey,
he
Brett,
got out.
are you related to José Altuve? Somebody's asking your mom if she's related to José Altuve. I had to mention that.
What? Yes, Supreme Panda. I don't know if you noticed the resemblance, but José Altuve, I often get mistaken for his brother. Everybody says his brother looks like him, but I get mistaken for José Altuve. And no, Panda, we didn't know. Houston did not DFA Daikin Park. That was a joke. You can't DFA stadiums because they
can demolish them.
People. You can demolish them. Daikin Park has been demolished. That would have been a more sensational.
Well, they DFA'd the Astrodome technically.
Well, hey, here's the deal. Trevor, the Buffalo kid, the kid from Buffalo, New York, the Super Astros fan said, maybe we should just play in the Astrodome. And when we're at home. I don't know what it is about the home ballpark, Eric, but it is. And someone accused me of going with this national narrative. It's not a narrative. Demolished for assignment. Oh, wow. DFA. Yeah. I like it. Good job. Wait, why did you cheer that? You didn't come up with it. That was his thing.
I came up with the demolish idea. But
okay. Okay, Chris.
Eric just for that.
Eric just Andy Menard your thing from The Office. That's an Andy Menard. I know that's a Michael Scott move right there. Michael Scott. Do you remember the Office episode wherever Michael Scott does like the golden ticket thing, and he puts like all the golden tickets in the same shipment, and then he thinks he's in trouble. So the boss calls in and there's like, whose idea was this? And he's like, it was Dwight's. And then like Dwight gets all these accolades for it. And then Michael wants credit for it again. Sorry.
Dwight or Dwight?
Dwight. Dwigged. Who's Dwigged? Anyways, I'm sorry. We need a podcast about The Office. That would be great.
All right. So let's take a second to appreciate Brendan Rodgers. This is a guy that a lot of people probably didn't know about. This is a guy I've been following a lot because second base is a hard position to fill in fantasy baseball. So I've been kind of keeping track of him as he came up through the minor leagues and playing at Coors Field. This was something that you always hoped that he would pan out, and he had some moments with the Rockies, but he never really turned into a star that his prospect status or his draft status or whatever kind of led him to. But he was a guy that the Rockies DFA'd, so to speak, and like the Astros Astros fans want to do at Daikin Park. But they wanted to, so the Astros if they wanted to do the José Altuve experiment in left field, they needed somebody to play second base. So Rodgers is somebody that let's see what happens. If he hits, if he becomes a guy that contributes for the Astros, worst comes to worst, we pay him $2 million this year. And with all the incentives. So today he had one of his best impact games during a regular season, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. The Astros would not have won this game without Brendan Rodgers. He played some great defense as well. And so his batting average, granted, small sample size, 313, 764 OPS. So he is playing pretty good at the moment.
Look, Brendan Rodgers was hitting the ball well in spring training. Mm-hmm. Joe Espada has talked about how he's liked what he's seen. And I really thought that he was a guy that if he can surprise you with the bat, he's got the glove. He was the 3rd overall pick in the same draft that Bregman and Kyle Tucker were. Wow. Why did you put that up there? I'm not 5'7", I'm 5'8.5", you jerk. I'm not José Altuve. But seriously, it's just one of those things where Brendan Rodgers really, look, I don't think he's a decent pickup. I think he's a great pickup. I think he's one of these under the radar moves, Eric. I don't think he's like, I'm not surprised with what he's doing with a glove. And I'm not really surprised with what he's doing on the bat, because if this offense operates the way it should, they're going to protect each other. And Christian Walker talked about that after the game. Christian Walker tonight said, I was very frustrated. And it was nice to get that home run because when you come in to a new team, you want to contribute and you put pressure on yourself to contribute. And when that's not happening, you are trying to get out of it. And if Brendan Rodgers can go up there and free swing and go 3 for 4, look, if he can go 1 for 4 and 3 for 4 and mix that up, the dude's going to be hitting 250, 260 on the season. I'll take that any day of the week. Altuve will have these games every once in a while, but Altuve is going to hit. He's been hitting all year. He is the best hitter on this offense in 2025 overall. He's still hitting 319. I mean, his average dropped like 80 points, but he's still in the 300s. That's how good he's been hitting. So Brendan Rodgers, I think, is the low risk, high reward guy. And he may be a guy that revitalizes a career that what a lot of people thought he should have been. And he'll gain confidence because he's not under the Coors Field cloud, like, oh, I'm away from Coors, I can't hit. I don't know if he thought that, but that won't be a part of his story being in Houston.
All right, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Hey, guys, this episode is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing better than going to the Game Time app. The next game at Dyken Park, if they don't DFA it, will be next Friday, April 11th. And if you don't have a ticket, you can go to Game Time and just get the last-minute deal, all-in pricing and lowest price guarantee that you want to get yourself to the game with your family, with your girlfriend, with your wife, with whoever you want to go to. Game Time takes the stress out of buying tickets, plus ticket price drop as the games get closer. So you can do like Brett does. He waits until a couple 30 minutes before the game or when he goes and he gets the great deal. So Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On Astros. As just don't forget the game is next Friday at Dyken Park. I almost said Minute Park. But it's coming up, and you can count on them to grab tickets as I need them, as Brett need them. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, go and check us out. Check out Michael Connor with the Locked On Astros postcast as well. Go and check out the guys over at Locked On Fantasy Baseball. I've been listening to them get some great fantasy advice. And I know a lot of people are getting frustrated with the Astros. We all want to be fantasy baseball managers. Well, let's go and move the lineup around. Let's go ahead and play this guy instead of this guy. But what Joe Espada has done so far is he's moved the guys around. He's played everybody. And Cam Smith, he struggled a little bit. Some guy that has not struggled is with the Red Sox, and I'm talking about Christian Campbell. Christian Campbell got an extension. Basically, I know you and I were talking about that before the show, and I know it's highly unlikely, but does Christian Campbell's 8-year, $60 million extension, does that open the door for somebody like Cam Smith to possibly get extension? Maybe. I know he has not produced yet with the Astros at the big league level. I know that Christian Campbell played more minor league games than Cam Smith. They're both 22 years old. There's a lot of interesting parallels there. But if maybe the Astros decide that he needs some more time in minor leagues, then they can send him down. Maybe before they bring him back up, they could say, hey, let's go ahead and extend you. But 8 years, $60 million, I don't think that's a bad deal. If you think that Cam Smith is the next superstar for you, that's not a bad deal.
No, it's not a bad deal at all. He was drafted in 23. And let's look at his
Christian Campbell.
Christian Campbell was drafted in 23. And so I don't know. Let's see. I'm looking for in the minors. It looks like he played he played in 137 minor league games. So I think Christian Campbell is maybe a little bit different story. Now, if you're talking about them both being called up at the same time, them both being the same age, them both maybe have the same trajectory, yeah. But I think, too, Cam Smith would have had to really just go all out, no holds barred in AA and AAA this year, and then get called up the next year. And then I think that kind of deal would have been made. The question is, how long do you let – I don't know that the question even goes to the contract right now. My question for him is, how long do you keep him up here? Do you let him struggle for 2 months and then send him down? Mm-hmm. Do you wait until he finally turns it around? Does he turn it around? And I'm not saying he's not going to, but right now you put Cam Smith in a very difficult position. Now, I think it would be easier to say yes if Cam Smith came up and after that triple in his first major league game, and I was there to see it, it was exciting, he would have kept hitting. The conversation might go a little bit smoother, but still, when I look at Christian Campbell, and I didn't know till I just looked it up right now, 137 games, 2 seasons in the minors. So he did move up through the ranks, and he did so rather rapidly. So I think he's got more of the, more change in his pocket to say, okay, this kid qualifies for this kind of a deal. I don't think the Astros are there yet with him. To me, Cam Smith has to have a Jackson Merrill type of rookie year. Go for the rookie of the year, whether he wins it or not. And then the next year, like Jackson Merrill did this year, sign an extension, sign a contract. But I don't think they do anything like that with him until after this season. If I'm being honest, I don't see it happening this year.
If you notice, the Astros really haven't done one of those type deals since John Singleton. That deal kind of backfired on him. I know that it was a long time ago and situations do change, but I think that Christian Campbell, I know that you and I before show talked, and well, he's been pretty hot. Yes, he's been playing good baseball, but I'm pretty sure these talks were going on ahead of time. It wasn't just because he's had a good couple games. I think that this is an option. The Astros have lost so many superstars over the years, and this is a way to kind of buy out some of the arbitration years to kind of save yourself some money there.
Right.
And also possibly buy out some of the free agent years because you have some team options where you can buy out some of his free agent years, possibly for a lower market value than he would get at that point. At this point, I don't know. This is just something I thought about. I saw some other people talking about it on X. So just something I wanted to bring up. And so, yes, I think that maybe seeing what we're seeing now, maybe he should have spent some time at AAA. But I think with the way he was playing during spring training, and the Astros had a need. They literally had a need, and he filled that need. And so I think that they're going to give him as much time as he needs.
Yeah.
Rookies struggle. We saw Mike Trout. He came up and struggled for about 2 weeks or so. Then they sent him down to AAA. He came back up and became Mike Trout. Granted, he can't stay healthy, but he was a superstar level talent.
Right. Well, right. And people are bringing up Jackson Holiday. No offense. Cam Smith's not Jackson Holiday. Okay. Jackson Holiday is a whole different trajectory of a player than Cam Smith. And I'm not saying Cam Smith's not going to be a superstar. And I'm not saying Cam Smith's not the guy. I think Cam Smith is the guy that very much José Altuve passes the torch to, right? I mean, I'm serious about that. I have very high expectations of Cam Smith. His poise, his mental makeup, what he's had to endure in his life, all those things help you in this really, really hard sport of Major League Baseball. It's not for the faint at heart, but just because you have talent doesn't mean you always make it. I've seen talented guys. We've seen guys come up. I could show you a whole binder of baseball cards from the 90s and call out names like Kevin Moss, who came up and hit 16 home runs in his first like 50 something games of the Yankees. He was going to be the next Mickey Mantle, and you never heard about the guy after that. And I'm not saying that's where Cam Smith is. And someone mentioned a really good point. Ben did say you stuck with the kid at least as long as it took for Bregman and Tucker to break out for their early struggles. Yeah. Right. But Tucker had a lot more games in minor leagues than he did. Tucker was 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases before he was called up. I mean, Yordan Alvarez was hitting bombs before he was called up. Alex Bregman was lighting up Double-A before he got called up. And so these things are not like the other. Like Cam Smith is unlike all these others. And there's a reason why they didn't put him in the minor leagues, because they do believe in him. And so, look, I'm not mad at Cam Smith. People keep talking about batting him second. I don't know that they'll bat him second, but maybe if you give him more protection, he might hit. But right now, really, is it protection if the team's not hitting overall? I mean, they're striking out a lot. They're not getting hits. Yeah, they had a few hits today, but your big people still aren't hitting outside of the middle, 3 or 4. So let's let the kid have some time. He had the day off. That's fine. Let him have a day off. Let him be a part of the major league club. He'll get out there. He won't get rattled. He's surrounded by professionals. I'm not worried about Cam Smith. I just hope that they make the right move. If they decide to pull him down and they don't want to use that year of service time, they just have to keep him under 172 days to get that time back if they don't think he's going to be in the running for Rookie of the Year.
Hey, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Go ahead after tomorrow's game. Wait, there's no game tomorrow. But there'll be a game on Saturday. It's going to be Spencer Getty and Bailey Ober on the mound. So hopefully the Astros get another victory, and enjoy a Friday without baseball during a baseball season. This is a rare event. So, guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. And José Altuve's brother, what do we always say?
I almost did something. Go Astros.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
I had to hold back. And sarcastic prodigy, José Altuve said 60 home run guy. You go ask José Altuve that question.